When I review laptops on this channel, they tend to be from the super budget market. But a budget or value laptop scales with the intended markets, and sometimes you still want a kick-ass machine without spending $4 grand on a laptop. That's where the HP ZBook 15u comes in. This is from their value performance line of workstation ultrabooks, recently accompanied by a 14-inch model. This little machine packs a punch, but doesn't weigh much at all. Let's take a look.
Are you tired of your streams or voice chats sounding like this?
Do you want the comfort and quality of high-end headphones without sacrificing microphone quality? Antline's ModMic 5 is the perfect solution. Their dual capsule microphone attaches easily and securely to your existing headphones and fits within any setup thanks to the modular cable system. It comes with a cable wrap to protect your wires, an optional inline mute switch, and sounds a little something like this. Check the link in the video description to learn more.
As I mentioned before, the ZBook 15u comes at the bottom tier of HP's ZBook lineup, below the Studio and the traditional ZBook 15 and 17 models. My loaner unit came decked out with an i7-7600U CPU, a 15.6-inch LED 1080p touchscreen, 16 gigs of RAM, an AMD FirePro W4190M discrete GPU, and a 512GB PCIe NVMe SSD. It's fast and powerful, while still not weighing much at all, and actually being on the thinner end of laptops that I've used. There are other configurations available, including a 4K screen option too. RAM can be increased up to 32GB and up to 2TB of storage is also available. The design is slick, and I appreciate it. Now, this is a business and professional-oriented laptop, which means it has two inclusions that can be kind of controversial as of late. Firstly, the nub, or nib, or whatever the heck people call this thing. I can't stand using it, but it's an important inclusion for some users. This brings two mouse buttons directly below the spacebar, followed by a second pair below the trackpad. If you go whacking away at the spacebar, you might end up clicking, but they're pretty easy to differentiate. Secondly, this laptop has a lot of freaking ports. In a good way. Around the left side, we have a Kensington lock, air vent VGA output, a USB 3.0 Type A, and a smart card slot. On the right, well, there's a lot. DC power input, SIM card slot that supports most major carriers, the dock connector for HP's ZBook Thunderbolt 3 dock, Gigabit Ethernet, another full-size USB 3.0 port, headphone microphone combo jack, a full-size display port for connecting to higher-end displays, and a USB 3.1 Gen 1 Type-C port. No Thunderbolt supported by the normal output though, only through the dock. If you feel like something might be missing, below the DisplayPort connection is a filler card for the SD card reader. I was able to successfully use the Logitech Brio 4K webcam via USB-C with this laptop. I didn't have anything else to test with the connection, but that worked fine with a simple Amazon Basics USB-C cable. This laptop is loaded with connectivity. I know everyone's tired of jabs at the MacBook Pro for lack of ports, but this would be a laptop I'd be comfortable with taking anywhere and knowing it could do the job. And if you're going to be taking it places to work, you're probably going to be typing a lot. Thankfully, the typing experience on their solid white backlit keyboard is great. There's no tray flex, and the keys feel responsive and not too mushy at all. The fastest way to my heart is a good typing experience on a laptop. The keyboard includes a full numpad while maintaining a sensible layout. I've been watching a lot of Lon Seidman's laptop reviews and seeing how many laptops wind up introducing crazy bad keyboard layouts, and it always has me concerned for my next review unit. Below the keyboard is a Fingerprint Reader. If you set this up with Windows Hello, it combines with HP's Fast Secure Boot to let you go from powered off to desktop in no time at all. I've been very impressed with this. The NVMe SSD is blazing fast, and HP have optimized the boot process greatly. I was also impressed to see that the speakers are above the keyboard. A nice slick grille covers the stereo speakers, which sound pretty damn good for the laptop. The Bang & Olufsen partnership here has really paid off. I usually don't even consider laptop speakers worth talking about, but these are nice. Also above the keyboard sit the power button and dedicated buttons for turning off Wi-Fi and muting the speakers. These are handy, and I could see why they would be important for office environments. That just brings us to the Bang & Olufsen branded screen. A 1920 by 1080 Full HD IPS panel with a touchscreen. It looks great. It gets crazy bright, and colors and sharpness feel totally on point. There is an ultra high definition non-touch option available as well, but I, as a resident resolution and pixel junkie, honestly feel that 1080p is a solid spot for performance and sharpness for 15.6-inch laptop screens. Plus, modern Windows feels hindered without a touchscreen, even if you only ever use it once in a while. I will say the screen is quite reflective though. At high brightness, it's not super noticeable or a problem, but it is easy to get distracted by reflections along the bezel. The screen is quite heavy too. This means if you pick the laptop up enough at the right angle, it falls back. Thankfully, the hinges feel pretty strong, but that would still make me nervous. Above the screen is their webcam.
The included 720p 30fps webcam is passable. It's high-ish resolution, it's pretty clear, but there's this weird texture applied to everything that makes it seem like it's being upscaled or interpolated from a much lower resolution. It just looks a little weird. Totally fine for video calls, not so much for content creation, but if you're just having a quick voice chat, no one's really going to complain about the quality, especially over a video over IP service, but it looks a little weird. Still much better than cheap laptop webcams, so I don't know.
Performance-wise, this laptop does pretty well. It's still only a dual-core with 4 threads, but it's a fast one. Throw the AMD FirePro behind it, and this provides a pretty solid balance of performance to price, I think. It's not a gaming machine. The FirePro is more optimized for professional graphics and 3D work. Running through some standard benchmarks, Google's now retired Octane scored in at 39,510, with a 166 speedometer score. These are actually higher than my main desktop. I'm going to write it up to how many Chrome extensions and tabs I keep open on my desktop since it's a very superior machine, but that was still funny to see. 3D Mark didn't like the FirePro GPU. The ZBook 15u got an 8975 in CloudGate and a 5729 in Skydiver, but there were errors about the GPU not being supported, so take those numbers with a grain of salt. What about real-world performance? I was able to edit videos in Premiere Pro with no major hiccups. The great speakers made this a particularly enjoyable experience too, though the render times are a bit slow due to the dual cores. Working with big 18+ megapixel raw photos and graphics work for the channel, and Photoshop is a breeze here too. And it is capable of some light gaming. CSGO on low at 1080p runs just at or under 60 FPS and is totally playable. Rocket League on low to medium settings runs at 1080p between 45 and 60 FPS and is playable and still responsive feeling. Feels a lot like the console port, to be honest. Black Ops 3 on low only held about 30 FPS and looked terrible. Doom was unplayable, as was The Witcher 3, both with single-digit frame rates. World of Warcraft ran about 50 to 60 FPS during overworld and wandering around, but I couldn't really test PvP or raids or anything. Heroes of the Storm ran over 100 FPS on low and about 45 to 60 FPS on medium. That was quite impressive. Overwatch on low with 75% resolution scaling bounced between 45 and 60 FPS. I was using a laggy wireless mouse, so between the two it wasn't super playable, but it would probably be fine for most people in a pinch. I've been quite satisfied with the HP ZBook 15u. It's not the best laptop ever, but for a value performance entry it does its job and overall just feels polished, which I would expect from a 4th generation revision. There are a couple more features I wanted to bring up. The first doesn't have any immediate relevance to me, but I found neat regardless. HP SureStart Gen 3 provides a fast, secure boot for Windows. It protects the BIOS settings from corruption or hijacking. This also allows IT managers to mass recover BIOS and implement specific settings across multiple units. This is integrated directly within the motherboard to prevent tamping. Every power state change initiates a BIOS check to recover if needed. Pretty sweet. Secondly is a big deal for me, the battery. The 15U has a 51 watt-hour battery, which works with the low-power Kaby Lake CPU to have great battery life. HP quotes the lifespan at around 15 hours. I don't have the means to quantify this right now, but I've only needed to charge it twice during my month-long loaner period, so I'm impressed. Not only that, but they have their own quick charge technology, which charges the battery from 0 to 50% in just 30 minutes. Insane. This is perfect if you're in a pinch at an airport or coffee shop and need to keep working throughout the day. Like I said, there's a lot of polish on this laptop. If you're looking for a professional laptop for your workflow needs, the HP ZBook 15u might just be for you. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this review. Subscribe for more awesome tech videos. Consider subscribing on Patreon to help keep this content going, and I'll see you next time.